What is going on, guys? You are tuning into the Kai Beam podcast, and I'm with my co-hosts, Domdo and Elusive. You already know who it is, Kai Beam. Name is on the podcast, of course. And small disclaimer, we actually all came together and had a discussion. This shit is going weekly now. No more bi-weekly type shit. So I guess we'll just be a little bit more consistent with that. So we have a good amount of topics today. Not a whole lot like we usually do, but again, that's because, we're doing this shit weekly now, so we can kind of go on tangents more, talk about just shit other than just topics and stuff like that. Anyway, wanted to start off right off the bat because this bleeds over from last podcast. If you haven't heard about this shit, you're just under a rock. The whole Joe situation, straight off the bat, fuck this nigga, first off, because he was a piece of shit. But, Mal and Rory finally responded on their own kind of platform. What ended up happening was they gave their whole side of it on, what ended up happening. And, again, people always, talking about, who's lying or whatever. I don't really want to talk or deal with that. I'm more inclined to go with these niggas right here, just off of the fact that of Joe having other business dealings, and, you see how shit ends up for people when he leaves, because he's just one of those business people who fucks people over. So what I basically got from their whole hour-long discussion was that this nigga, they saw the red flags from off-rip, but because he was their friend, they tried to push through that, even though he was clearly showing signs. They said every time that they would ask him about, and that's another thing I need to clear from last week's podcast too, because they came out and basically said they had a profit percentage of the podcast, meaning when they need to know the numbers to make sure they're getting paid the right amount, right? But every time they ask this nigga about that, what does he do? He starts getting angry. Oh, what do you need that for? And all this shit. It's like, you constantly keep doing that, then obviously you're doing some shady shit if you can't just give people the information they're asking for. And on top of that, to put salt in the wound, this nigga, when they would sometimes ask for the numbers, you know what this guy would do? He would send them an email of an Excel spreadsheet, as if that's supposed to be some sort of, actual booking, accounting shit. That is just wild to me. But in all of this, he took advantage of their naivete and their friendship, and he fucked them over. It's just that simple, And apparently, now they're somehow, I don't know how they would have gotten out of that contract, because Joe, like I was saying last podcast, he was saying he was going to sue the pants off of them if they did anything, that wasn't after a year cooling off period. So apparently they have a podcast they're doing. I don't know how they're going to be doing that. They're gonna Joe is gonna try to sue them, which he probably will.
I just saw something that said lawyers are involved currently, but some YouTube lawyers actually talking about it. I was gonna watch it because I guess it's not really sound from what someone said, but I don't know.
Right. Yeah, and
this guy can't really catch a break.
No, he can't, but he shouldn't, because he's a piece of shit, because we got some more to go into. I'm going to get to the Olivia Dope stuff, and that's the whole thing there that I wasn't aware of. I just want to showcase how with Narcissist, here's this nigga Joe trying to, a day later, after, he had fired them or whatever, this dude tried to come out and, apologize to them, and then he was just like, yeah, it sucks that at this point in time, these gentlemen probably don't think we could be friends. It's like, no, you fucked them. He didn't really
apologize to one of them, though.
Yeah, because he was just like, because he said
he just apologized to Rory, but he didn't say anything to Mal.
Yeah,
so it wasn't really an apology, and it was a half-assed one. It was kind of
that's
one
a
of those apologies
narcissist.
that people give, where they're like, I'm sorry that you got offended by it, but hey, it's not really my fault that you got hurt by what I said, so I don't know.
Right. Yeah, that's just classic narcissist shit. But here.
But he was on a record and apologized though, so
Yeah,
Well,
but that's such a
well,
half-assed apology.
it's a half-ass thing, man. He was just
Well,
like,
it doesn't
yeah, and
sound like him to
if
accept
I had,
apology or not, but he is
no,
correct
no,
saying that
he
he
did it.
apologizes.
He did it on in a kind of almost condescending way, I think, because it's just like, he's over here like, yeah, and if I had to take accountability, it'd probably be my leadership skills. Like, okay, like,
So
uh,
he's acknowledging where he's
yeah,
shortcomings,
but
isn't?
I feel like
here's the
he was
thing.
forced to acknowledge
Yeah,
it because
forced
of
to
the fact
acknowledge
that
that.
shit was coming down on him. Because at this point right here, they kind of like everyone, as far as like his enemies, are just coming out to like just clean him up because this podcast, yeah, basically fell apart. You know, you have the thing with Olivia Dope coming out, which I already knew because there was an episode where he literally was on the sister podcast, that really terrible one, and he's like hugging up on Olivia. You can't find it now unless you like search like videos for it, but I'm not sure about the availability on that. And he's hugging up on her and stuff, and you know that's all coming in to bite him. And I just feel like had that stuff not happened, and had he not, he would have never apologized for it. It was just the
Fuck
fact that
no.
his people were probably like, "Yo, you should probably apologize because our numbers aren't looking too good." There are a lot of other YouTubers out there that are smoking the Joe Budden podcast like by miles away.
Yeah. And to expound more on the Olivia situation, she basically came out, and I wasn't aware. I had heard rumblings about it, but I never really did research. She basically came out and exposed this nigga was sexually harassing her, talking, making these offhand remarks how he wants to fuck her, and then kind of pitting that See the Thing Is group. Which, by the way, I just need to quickly say, fuck that Bridget chick and fuck Mandy, whatever their names are. They're both trash, basic ass bitches, basically. They allowed this man to not only do that to Olivia, who's probably the realest one on that podcast, honestly. They also allowed this man to sow distrust between them because he would say things like, yeah, well, Olivia dresses the sexiest out of all you. I'd only fuck her. So that forced these basic bitches right here to be like, well, that means there's competition now. And now we have to outdo her and all this other dumb shit, which makes sense why she left after having to deal with all that. And I wish her nothing but the best. I hope whatever she plans on doing, like whether it's podcasting or whatever, she's a real one.
But you can't really blame the females though, because
I don't care.
He was kind of playing against that insecurities and shit. So
he definitely was, but that's just how as basic. They're basic.
I don't
They're
put
basic as fuck.
100% blame on Mandy and Bridget. I just don't like the fact that like they didn't stand up for her because
Yeah.
stuff was filmed.
Yeah, like they're just sitting there.
They're sitting there. Filmed on air, and then like they had a recent episode where they're like, "Oh, like we're not going to talk about it. We have professional and personal issue going on amongst the company." And
because that could have happened to either one of them too, So the fact that they didn't stand up for her is kind of like, yeah.
And let me preface that like all this stuff.
You should say that
kind of
again.
weird that it's good to be like, oh, well, I should. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I should preface this by saying that all this stuff is not even like a rumor. It's kind of weird hearing that being said because of the fact that it's all been caught on air, caught in 4K. Him saying that stuff. There's two occasions, or actually no, there's two instances where this happened. The See the Thing Is podcast, and then on his own podcast where he said, and I quote, "I can fuck these bitches if I want to. I can keep these bitches in check with my dick." And no one just, I don't know, no one just seemed to really care. And like I said, it's just kind of falling back on him. And he's burnt these bridges now, where like, Charlemagne is just like, yeah, no, fuck him. Then you have one of his old co-hosts, Ibani K. Williams. She's like, yeah, no, fuck him because of the fact that he's like being a little baby about the fact that I was actually in contact with Charlemagne because, Charlemagne and Joe Budden had these little rivalry going on, and you just handled the situation.
At this point,
poorly.
is it a rivalry anymore?
No,
not really.
No,
friendship ended.
Yeah, it stumped him. He stumped him a long time ago, so it's not even a rivalry anymore. This guy's got his own like radio show now, so it's not much of a freaking competition or rivalry going on between them anymore.
Yeah, and that's the thing though, it's just because of the fact that, when you have these sort of business opportunities, you have to be open-minded. And I get the fact that Joe got fucked in the music industry. I mean, his music was never good except for Pump It Up. That's the only song I've ever known. But yeah, he literally had gold in his hand. He's just like, well, let me just go ahead and just like rub it in
Self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
Self-sabotaging.
And his friends and people who are even had previous relationships with Joe have told Rory and Mal, hey, Mal, I know you're friends with him. You should watch out because of the fact that he's fucked over so many people. You should watch out for that. And then and the weird thing is too, it's just the fact that like he has a sister podcast and he's doing all this funky weird shit, and the women in his life are like, hey, watch out for this guy because he's a fucking scumbag.
Right.
So
yeah, you had like again him just preying on Rory and Maul. That was their mistake in thinking that because you're quote unquote friends with this guy that he was gonna do right by you. Fuck no, he wasn't. Anyway, that's the thing with any narcissist. Any way that they can fuck you over to get where they need to be, they'll do it. It doesn't matter their relationship to you. Friend, lover, coworker, it doesn't matter. So that was their mistake, but I wish them nothing but the best too. I don't know how they're gonna get around that contract stuff, but hey, fuck that nigga. Go do what you gotta do.
They probably have some decent lawyer if they're willing to fight it. So.
Right.
Honestly, I just think things aren't really looking good because of the fact that allegations are coming up. So it might get dropped, like his that whole thing. But then again, I don't know because I have no knowledge, no real knowledge. It's just I'm kind of going off of like common sense, but hey, that shit ain't so common anymore.
Exactly. No, real shit. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all we have about that. That's probably the last time we'll talk about that, honestly. And I want to go straight into just some sad shit. We have some deaths that happened recently. Well, this first one happened like earlier this month. So we have the mangaka of Berserk, Kento Miura. He died on May 6, 2021 of acute aortic dissection, which basically I think it's like heart tearing, something like that. So
yeah, and he's the author of Berserk.
Yep.
Just in case.
Yeah. I never was really into Berserk, but I know I had a lot of friends that would tell me about it. I just never went and watched it or read it. I've seen parts of it, just on the internet here and there. But regardless, that just opens a wider discussion because I know Izzy, me and you were talking about how Oda, those breaks that he takes, or just any mangaka in any sense.
They need more breaks, bro. They just need fucking more breaks. But they are just workaholics. They don't know how to take breaks, so.
Right.
It's partly that, and it's just the shonen contracts that they have going on. Like, there's a reason why, like, a lot of manga now is only once a month.
Right.
You need, like, at least, like, a week and a half to take that break, because their schedule's ridiculous. They work, like, 80 hours a week.
Yep.
Which is ridiculous, man. It shouldn't be like that.
That's the price of entertainment. I mean, if you look at the work ethic of, like, Japan, it's wildly different. Like, you want to talk about, like, this is, like, America is, like, on its grind. Like, Japan's been on its grind. Like, that's literally all they're about. And
but that's funny, though, that you mentioned that, because a new research just came out that working long hours actually contributes to people's deaths.
Of course.
Right.
No, why do you think Hunter x Hunter is never going to come back? Because, the thing is like, I'm surprised, and I'm not trying to be like morbid, but I'm surprised he hasn't died, or they haven't died, because he literally, or I don't know if it's I don't know what their gender is, but I'm not sure.
It's a he.
Okay, yeah. I'm not sure if he can actually make a comeback, because every single time he actually does, he ends up back with more heart complications or health complications. And it makes me wonder, because I think he's married to another mangaka artist.
Maybe. I have no idea of that information.
Because, and it sucks too, because this guy who made Hunter x Hunter, is also responsible for the Yu Yu Hakushow. That's
Yeah, he's a really great author, man.
Yeah,
that's.
it's just wild. Like, you know, the people who are involved in like anime and manga, like they face a lot of ridiculous like work.
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, actually, I just looked it up. His wife made Sailor Moon. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so that's what I knew.
They're both wildly successful authors then and artists.
No, they are a power couple, because some people I remember were saying, like, you know, if he had to retire, I wonder if his wife could just take over Hunter x Hunter.
I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea. He could just
because he could just relay information to her.
Yeah, the manuscripts and shit, and she could just do the drawing if that's what needs to be done. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right.
So it makes perfect sense if that ends up happening. But yeah, no, there's a reason why, like, as someone who wants to go into like going into the field of 2D animation, like, I don't think I would ever go into Japanese animation, like, per se, like at Period Studio or anything like that, because
they're really freaking overworked. I mean, they are really underpaid, and they do such beautiful work, man. But
they do. Actually, you know, here's another thing that I didn't realize until like an article was posted. But one of the top animators of Mappa Studios quit because the work was so like overwhelming. And you got to think too, Mappa Studios was the ones who made Attack on Titan season 4. They're the ones who did the Yasuke anime all in 1 year. Like, that's a lot of work. Like,
it is.
A lot of people don't understand how like frames work, but that movement shit that you see drawn on there, like, I have to give a little leeway to Dragon Ball Super sometimes, because the fact that their studios are stretched so thin because they got One Piece and
all these other
Toei, all of these other properties that they have to work on, that like the animation looks like shit for a good reason, because of the fact that it's fucking difficult. Like, all the, like, you got still shots and stuff. I can go into it, but like,
well, not gonna lie, like Toei has been doing great on a One Piece episode recently. Like, the Wano arc is like leagues above a lot of the other arcs in animation. I don't know, maybe it's because like the arc is more Japanese.
It's because or something, but Dragon Ball's not around, at least right now. You know, we talked about it last podcast. You know, they're gearing up to do a movie, so we're gonna see if One Piece animation takes a hit because of that.
Continues, right? Yeah, that is true.
I mean, they probably would have it planned out. I mean, it would make a lot of sense, because, you know, there were rumors that Dragon Ball Super was going to come back, like, technically, like, a year and a half ago, but it got halted because One Piece and then, like, some other anime was, like, about to make its debut, so they're just like, we're going to put it on hold, and, yeah.
Probably the right decision, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, because, like I said, it sucks getting overworked. Getting overworked will lead to heart complications and just overall, like, health effects.
Yep.
Right.
Because not only is it messing with your health, it's also messing with your mind too. And you would constantly keep worrying about deadlines or how to satisfy other people. Like, it's just, stressful, man. It's fucking crazy.
I could say it right now, for me personally, because of the fact that, like, I'm on the verge of graduating, and I have multiple projects that I've been begrudgingly taking up myself, putting myself into. I hardly sleep during the weekends because of the fact that I'm trying to, like, catch up, and I can tell it's affecting my mental health. It's affecting it right now. Like, I could hardly sleep at all, and I was just literally sitting on my couch, like, looking at my art books for references, just going like, man, I could really use a fucking break right now. So, and that's just me doing a project that's not really gonna be published or anything like that. I mean, there's one, but we'll see how that one goes.
Yeah, it's a funny one to bring up.
It's a secret project. We shall not mention that on here.
Yeah, but speaking of more death, we talked about this off air. I know Izzy is familiar with this comedian. I never was. I know people around me were, and they always tell me, but I just never went out of my way to watch him. Paul Mooney, he died of a heart attack at age 79. on May 19th, 2021, so a couple of days ago. Condolences to his family. I know there's like some controversy and stuff and all this other stuff surrounding.
Let's not dwell on that, man.
But that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, you put that to the side, someone died. So rest in peace.
Condolences. And yeah, like, man, you need to check out some of his Dave Chappelle skit, man. That is very fucking hilarious because he's got a skit called where he goes by Negro Damas. And
I think I've seen that one before, actually.
That is just hilarious, man. You should see those.
Yeah, I should rewatch it for sure because I do remember that. Yeah, Chappelle Show, I love that.
And he's been on a couple of like cameos on movies too, which he was pretty funny in there too. So yeah, he's a great comic. He was.
Yeah, honestly, outside of the controversy that I heard, I also heard that he was starting to show dementia like a few years ago, but like recently of this decade he was starting to show it, which is honestly it kind of makes me a little sad seeing like people that you grew up with in like entertainment just get old, because I think I've probably felt that way with like actors like Robert Downey Jr. or Hugh Jackman and stuff like that. It really sucks because I just feel like
cycle of life, man.
I mean, it is a cycle of life, but it makes me wonder, like, how entertainment is going to evolve to the point to where they can catch up or meet those same expectations. It's not going to happen, but it's just like...
You're going to go the cyberpunk route. Everybody's getting cybernetics and implants in their brains and shit like that, so dementia is going to be cured eventually. Not anytime close.
I feel like that's. I mean, I'm talking like people who can like actually act, because I just feel like nowadays there aren't a lot of actors that are like at our age or very like well known. Like they're all kind of old. Like there'll never be another Jackie Chan. There'll never be another Arnold Schwarzenegger because of the fact that like
any of those kind of like actors who actually put in the work to do stunts, act, and freaking. Almost
plus, like their
everyone
lifestyle was completely just one in a million, because like you guys know how Arnold Schwarzenegger became the way he was, right?
Yeah, he was a bodybuilder, dude. And
but before that, before he was a bodybuilder, he was homeless and he'd always spend his time in the gym. That's the reason why he liked to work out.
Right.
Huh. I didn't know that.
He was because of the fact that he didn't want to be a farmer in Austria like his dad, so he left, and then he spent his times in the gym working out, basically, because people who are like homeless, they would go to the gym back when it was like free and stuff like that, take a shower, work out and stuff like that.
Yeah, pretty much like going to the Y, in the US over here. That's why you see a lot of people who are like impoverished in America. Like, I mean, besides the idea of just staying there and like trying to like stay out of like dangerous situation and stuff where you have recreation, productive stuff going on. Yeah, people go over there just to
And it's to me it's just crazy, because basically like his story basically is telling about perseverance and just having to take that risk, because again, and I feel like we're not going to find that in a lot of people who are actors, because of the fact that those parents that had to go through that stuff they make sure that their kids aren't gonna go through the same shit that they went through. So like, either your people are coming from like YouTube and becoming successful, or just straight up like have famous parents who already are pushing them through that kind of shit, just to make sure they don't have to go through the stuff that they went through. Yeah, same thing could be said with like I said, everyone. Sylvester Stallone was in porn before he actually became Rambo, so.
Jeez, that's wild. When you told me that, I was dying when you told me that.
Yeah, because
it just takes that one chance of somebody to see something in you, and for you to overwork yourself to get to where you are, and just believe in yourself that you can make yourself successful, because nobody else is gonna believe in you like you believe in yourself. So as long as you just keep pushing yourself, eventually, just that one luck may smile on you,
Right.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds as far as that.
Do you just want to get into like some of the manga stuff we have listed? Because
since we're kind of getting into the manga, So like I think the only manga that I've been reading is Dragon Ball and Boruto, just because the fact that I don't know, getting into like I liked Attack on Titan. I got into it pretty late, so like having to catch up on the manga just didn't feel. I don't know. It didn't have the same feeling, and I was never gonna get into My Hero just because of the fact that like that's also just like a lot to get into, and I don't know, like My Hero just kind of lost its flavor to me,
I don't
especially in
know
anime.
where is that right now in the manga. I think you would like it better because it's just at a dark time right now in the manga.
Yeah, I
Because
remember you telling me that Deku was like on the run or something like.
yeah, he's running from that lunatic who trying to take his damn ability away.
All
All
for
for one.
one. All for
Yeah.
one.
And
Oh,
I mean, like, I would say, like, what he's doing right now is much more smarter than before because now, like, what he's doing is, like, he pretty much have just straight up quit going to that Hero Academy school. And he
oh,
just
he's
pretty
dropped
much,
out.
like, and also he just pretty much, like, because he don't want to put his friends in danger anymore. So he just, like, had to leave that school because, it was all, most of the time, it was all his fault that his friends keep getting hurt anyway,
Which is
even if
Right.
he
kind of
doesn't
strange. Like
admit it.
it's kind of strange that that's the case because it's like all these there's so many people with powers, and why is like All Might the number one? I know he's like the number one hero, but like he can't be just the number one target. Like other people have like things that they got going on to like make them
No,
enemies or rivals or something like that.
they are, but you remember, like, since All for One, the ability, I mean One for All, the ability that All Might has, and All for One, the ability that what's his freaking face has, Shigarashi, or whatever the hell his name is, has.
Yeah.
Since those two are like opposite, or like two sides of the same coin, pretty much like the two original owners of that ability were twins,
Mm.
and well, I don't know if you already know that, but like
Mm-mm.
they the older brother wants want to take his like younger brother's abilities, so he should become all powerful and like immortal or whatever other nonsense he thinks he could gain from having both ability. So it's pretty much why All Might was always targeted, and from what it has revealed is like he's been the one always pulling the string behind all the other heroes. Like
Right.
he nudges, I mean the other villains, he nudges them to like constantly just target All Might, even if like sometimes they don't even know it themselves.
Right.
That's crazy. Yeah,
It
I mean,
shows
it
how
makes sense
powerful
at
he is,
some
though.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I do remember the anime. Like, he was really strong. That's like the reason why All Might. Like, well, he was also sick, but yeah, he was really strong. But I don't know. I think I kind of found myself at this point where I don't really like watching or consuming just anime and manga like I used to, just
Yeah, I
because of the
definitely
fact that
feel that.
there isn't
I
really
feel
a
that.
whole lot that's interesting. And the fact that I want to create my own like TV show, and I'm not even sure if I would qualify it as an anime because it's definitely anime inspired, but it's never gonna be like that. And there are shows actually that I recently watched. I'm going on a tangent, but there are shows like Akame Got Killed that I recently just started watching again. I see Parasite all the time. I'm never gonna watch it again because I watched it like 3 times already. But they're never gonna like, I don't know. There's just certain shows that don't last long, and they're always like 26 episodes one season, and they never get picked up again. And yeah, I don't know. Like
I
I
mean,
feel like it could.
that is one of the reason I just stopped watching anime in general and just like straight up focus my attention on mangas because like one of the reason I even freaking started reading mangas was because of Full Metal Alchemist. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day when
Oh
they
yeah,
used to like
Yeah.
have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I watched the entirety of the season and I think it got to episode 54 or so. And then it rolls around where like a few stuff from like uh then I was talking to a few people online on the forums and stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, half of those things that happen in those episodes ain't canon, right?" I'm like, "What?" Like that just completely blew my mind how wild and stupid that was, and it just pissed me off so much that I actually like invested all my time in talking to that because like I was talking
yeah.
about that shit with people, and they were just straight up like just dissing me online, talking about I've been watching like the wrong stuff. So just because I want to know what happened, I started the manga, and like then I just saw like, yeah, this is just fucking bullshit. So I just like most of the time, like even though I read the manga and watch the anime, I just do that just to see what the difference is because they did that with Tokyo Ghoul too, where
Yeah,
like they
I
just
hate
took
what
a
they did to Tokyo.
deviation from what was presented in the manga, and they just
Like
like, yeah,
they just did Tokyo Ghoul so dirty, dude. That is one of my favorite series. Actually, Witty was the one who got me into that, and I read through the entire manga, and then I look at the anime. I'm just like, what the fuck happened here? Because it just didn't get represented properly. It's just it sucks.
dude.
Never
What
just
can
a
you do?
Speaking of Tokyo
representation.
Ghoul, bro, have you checked out Ishida's new work?
No, I know you told me about it. I need to because I heard you
Oh,
said
dude,
it's really good.
that is very good, man. Like right off the rip, I think I'm gonna enjoy his new work, but I hope like it keeps up the momentum anyway because like it seems like it's gonna have a lot of those tragic moments in there, like the other like Tokyo Ghoul, but it's really starting up really nicely too.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out because yeah, I'm a fan of his. Definitely.
Yeah, the first chapter
Yeah.
came out. It came out last week, and I think they're gonna bring release another chapter today, if I'm not mistaken. Today is Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? What is that called?
I keep forgetting it.
Alright, you can just tell me off here. You don't have to sit
Yeah.
there and think about it. But yeah.
Uh,
If you
Yeah.
you have
Yeah,
it.
no, I was gonna get back into it. So, okay. Yeah, so like Dragon Ball Super has actually kind of been like really interesting as far as the manga. They finally got to the point to where they interacted with Granola and yeah, it's kind of strange because at this point they actually I feel like they're actually listening to the fans because Goku at this point is like catching a bunch of L's like off rip he got onto Vegeta and Goku got onto the planet, and Goku just got like they got hit with a barrage of ki blasts, and then Goku got hit in the back of the neck. Done.
One
He
shot
was
it.
out.
One
Yeah,
shot. He needed a
one
sensory
shot
beam.
it. Yeah, he needed a whole sensu bean. Vegeta was like, "What the fuck, Kakarot? Like, what the hell's going on?" And then, the second time, I thought this was really cool, but like Goku at this point has been able to activate Ultra Instinct on Will, not like the mastered one, but the Omen one. And right at this point, he just like closes his eyes and he just senses it. But he combined Ultra Instinct with Super Saiyan God, which was kind of cool. Still didn't do anything. He caught a second L. He got hit in the stomach. So that was kind of funny. Vegeta's like been playing detective.
It's funny. It's funny too because sorry not to cut you off, but like the guy they're fighting is just a kind of like a different enemy compared to the ones that they are usually like. That's what I'm kind of enjoying this arc after the universe arc. Like the villains are not just your straightforward brawlers like we're always used to.
Right.
These guys are actually meticulous and take that time in what they're trying to accomplish.
Right.
He almost has like the Byakugan in Dragon Ball because
Right.
he's hitting Goku in vital points, and he explained he's like, I can see your blood flow and your like how you move and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, this guy is like Sharingan, Byakugan kind of character, but it makes you wonder like, if he fought Hit, who would win? Because he's so fast to the point, like I said, he just poked Goku in the stomach and he was done. That shit was over. I mean, he still was gonna fight for round 2,
Right.
and it's just kind of funny how like these characters who invited Goku to fight Granola pull one over their heads, even their spouses, because these guys look malicious as fuck. All right, came to Earth, told Chi-Chi, they're like, oh, we need help. We need Goku's help. There's an evil guy over here. You can't tell who's a bad guy.
They all look evil as hell. I don't know how they just gullibly believe these people. Like,
I have no fucking eyebrows. It's like
face,
Kid
they look
Buu.
evil.
Exactly.
Really, just not even question them, like
At all.
It's just kind of,
yeah, I was like, how the fuck did they just do that? Like, they're like, Goku, we need your help. And they're like, okay,
we're gonna beat up this random person in the universe and not even ask why the person needs to get beat up. Like,
yeah, And then Goku's trying to talk to Granola because Granola's just like, I know you Saiyans, you fucking monkeys are trying to do what's like Frieza's bidding. And he's like, wait a minute, you're talking about Frieza? He's like, we don't work for him. He's like, enough of that shit. Let's fight. And he's like, so you guys, he's like, so you are actually evil. And he's like, I said no talking. And just started fighting. And like I said, Vegeta's being detective because he's like, I actually know of a race like that, but it couldn't be. And then, in some magical, mystical way, a big-ass giant monkey foot got preserved into the ground, and he somehow found it. After so many years, like, the people, I think they're called, like, the Cerealians or something. It's supposed to be, like, a parody of, like, cereal. Yeah. These guys, after getting traumatized, probably have generational trauma of, like, 9-foot monkeys or something like that. Kept a footprint in the ground. It's perfectly fine. Like, there's, like, no erosion apparently in this planet.
It's concrete, man.
Bro, at the same time, though, if it was concrete, there's still erosion. Like, over time, like, these guys don't have infrastructure. They can't get this shit fixed.
It's space concrete.
It's space concrete.
That don't make no sense to me. Like,
no.
He, like, literally uncovered it. And he was just like, this makes a lot of sense now. Just a giant ass foot, just firmly planted in the ground. They didn't bother to clean it up or nothing. So there was that. And then like Boruto it felt a little too short. I think also, I mean, Dragon Ball and Boruto both felt short, but Boruto was mostly just like dialogue because Amato basically told Naruto that, you know, the Asukification. Don't know why they called it that, which is basically causing Boruto to transform into Momoshiki or whatever the fuck his name was called. Yeah, and he gave him some pills, and he's like, "Hey, this is gonna stop the transformation, but it's not gonna reverse the effects that have already taken place. But I want to let you know, this has a chance of actually killing him because he's pretty much like 60 or 70% completed." And then Boruto is just like, okay, let me go ahead and pop the pills. And, you know, Naruto was just like, did you not hear what I said? And he's like, I did, but, you know, I've been thinking about this for a while, and I'm ready to die for this village. I'm ready. And I think it's the most mature Boruto has been in this manga, so...
Yeah, but, like, I don't know, so maybe it's just because his enemies that he's faced compared to Naruto has been much more powerful. Because like, pretty much he's been facing endgame original Naruto series villains, then while Naruto himself almost probably died a lot of times just from facing those guys. So I can understand why he's more mature in a sense than Naruto, but it's kind of like a weird stance to take, though. Yeah.
I mean, it is, but it's just like, you know, in his mind, he's kind of seeing it like, hey, if I'm going to be responsible for a bunch of deaths that I can't even control, I might as well just die for my people. Like,
right.
I'm just gonna do that because, you know, you're right. Naruto at his age, what, he fought like a gangster on a bridge.
He fought Haku, Zabuza.
Yeah.
He barely even fought Zabuza, and then Gaara, and yeah, not a lot of like world threat, or should I say universe threatening enemies, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess.
Boruto, on the other hand, fought an Otsutsuki before his 15th birthday, like it was no big deal. I mean, he burnt the fuck out of his hand, but like, yeah, Naruto, if Naruto was put in that situation, he would die. He would get obliterated. There'd be nothing but a fucking goggle lens or something just left.
I guess that's also the good thing about how do you say it, like the generational evolution in a sense, because of how almost everything that they learn, like the amount of techniques and power that they like teach to their offspring, kind of makes them like better equipped to fight these enemies.
Yeah, but it's only just Team 7 though, because
that's true.
They have the strongest parents in the entire Leaf Village. Because you think Ino's son is gonna make a difference? Fuck no. His other superpower is being rice paper. Like, boy is so goddamn light. I swear, I hate his design.
All you need to use to defeat that kid is a bottle of lotion. Just
Bruh, like
spraying on his
if
pasty
he
face.
put a lamp next to his face, he would be his own solar flare. Like I really hate the fact that they made his character look like that. He should have just had black hair. Like I know they called him like Enogen, but like change it up. Like
He should have had like black hair and had his mom complexion and size hair instead of like
yes. Because I
now
was
he
like,
looks a Sai. He has his mom's hair. It's just weird.
he looks fucking weird. He looks albino, which I mean, nothing against albino. It's just like his design just looks fucking weird to me.
No, because that design works well on Sai. It just doesn't work well on the kind of like hair color that he has.
Of course. Imagine if the Psy had blonde hair. He would look terrible too. They'd be like, "Who the fuck is this?" But I digress. It's manga chapter basically ended with Boruto and Kawaki and basically entire T7 training, and Boruto kicked Kawaki's ass because even though Kawaki is starting to learn jutsu,
he's kind of lost his entire edge that he had before, which was that karma or kara or whatever the hell kind of ability that he had.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I think I relied on it too much because he got his back burnt. He got fucked up by Boruto for a second, and then he's just like, oh, I gotta train. I gotta do this shit for real. And Boruto was like, yeah, also keep in mind, you're not doing this by yourself. And he's like, but he's like, you're not doing this by yourself. Let's go. Yeah, that was that. I'm looking forward to next month's manga chapter, but it seems like One Piece has a lot of shit going on. That shit's never gonna end. So.
Yeah, I put some topics down here that me and Izzy could discuss. You know, just because we don't have a chapter this week. I hope you had a good break because I can't wait for you to come back. Please be able to get out.
Luffy's dead.
This nigga keeps saying that, but I just want to ask you some questions, Izzy. So, how do you think Luffy's gonna make a comeback? And do you think Gear 5th is gonna actually be a thing? Like, is that what he's gonna need? Because that fight we saw between him and Kaido, like, we didn't get to actually see it because people, people are speculating. What if Kaido has some sort of a form that he can take above hybrid form?
Oh no, I don't completely dismiss that. I think he does have a form that he can take, which is why it wasn't shown.
Right. Because I think that's what Yamato is freaking out about, right? When she's asking Momo like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's like, "It's 1v1." She's like, "Oh shit, I need to get up to the roof right now." Like it's not gonna, And then we see the panel, and he's done, KO'd.
And if you also have an intro to a character where, like, if it's a 1v1 bet on this guy, obviously he has, like, something that he doesn't want anybody else to see, a technique where when he fights you, he makes sure he kills you immediately, and you're never going to be able to reveal that technique to anybody else,
Right.
Which is why it's kind of strange that he somehow is, like, over here crying at the end and regretting why he didn't chop off Luffy's head after he beat him up so this damn Sky Island or the floating island.
Yeah, because it's just like, honestly, Kaido, like, you could have really, like, had you killed Luffy, that would have been the ultimate, like, hope, the end of hope. Like, if they saw Luffy's dead body on the ground floor, it would be over.
Oh yeah, it would just.
But I mean, he's a main character, so he's not gonna die, right? But yeah. It's just I can't wait to see what Luffy does.
I don't think he's gonna need Gear 4 or Gear 5 to get back up there. I think he can get back up there just fine with Gear 4 if he needs to.
Right.
But
because we still haven't even seen whether or not he went Gear 4 during that time. Because if he did go Gear 4 during that little fight they had, like, then obviously he's gonna need Gear 5. Like, there's no way, like, because if he had mixed what he did with Conqueror's Haki, being able to weaponize that now and use that with all his other broken shit he can do, right? And if that still didn't work, then obviously it's like, we're gonna need something more, right?
But as you can see, though, with him being in base form, it seems like those. I don't think he really has to use that, like, as much as he needs to. this time around with his like gear fourth, and I think it's more beneficial to him in base form to use his newfound abilities than actually like using those in his gear fourth form, because
Right.
that takes up a lot of powers every time he uses it and leaves him just immobile where he cannot really fight anybody properly after he uses it.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I think because we've had this discussion before, where if Luffy was able to, beef up his just base form,
Right. He would be a
he would
monster.
be he'd be insane. And then he only goes to third or fourth or whatever gear when he really needs to. But if he could do everything he needs to do in base form, then he's straight. You don't need to do anything else. But yeah, I have another thing here. I was like, so let's say Zoro heals up. Like, you think there'll be enough time for him to heal up and then just start getting right back to fighting, right? Like, with him and Sanji, right? Who do you think they're gonna fight? Like, just between them. Like, everyone, we for a long time we thought the whole King Queen thing, right, for Zoro and Sanji, and it's an interesting matchup. I don't know for Sanji's case. He has the raid suit and everything. I'm not sure. Just with Zoro. What do you think about that, Izzy? If you're talking, I can't hear you. I can't hear anyone, actually.
I'm still here.
Can't hear Izzy. I guess his mic is messed up. Okay. Well, I'll just go on by saying I think that Sanji definitely needs some time to shine, personally. I know a lot of people have been, like, second guessing Sanji, and then, there's the whole toxic thing between who's stronger, Sanji or Zoro, blah, 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 blah. I just think they both need the time to shine, take out the commanders, because it's like CP0 said, you take out, let's say you were to even take out Kaido, you still have to deal with Kaido's army. There's just so much there. But, yeah, I'm not sure where we're headed to, like, if we're actually going to see what happened, what Yamato is going to be doing. I can't wait to see her Devil Fruit, things like that. I really wish Izzy was here. I don't know where he went. He's just silent. But
He dropped out of the call, but we should just move on to like the movie stuff. And,
all right.
Yeah. Actually,
Okay.
we could go into like the mulatto thing because like it's really interesting seeing that. Personally, I think it's stupid that she changed her name because it's still a play on mulatto. Calling herself Lotto doesn't change anything. Like, it really doesn't because it still has the same meaning. I don't know who. Like, I really wish someone could tell me. As someone who's light-skinned myself, I would love someone to explain why mulatto is offensive.
I don't know, man. Like, that's the thing, too. It's not like, I can understand if she was maybe lauding around her name, like, oh yeah, like, I chose this name because I think light skin is better. I've never seen her say anything like that, so I don't really see why people feel the need to complain. And I mean, you are right in terms of changing her name. Like, it doesn't because it's still spelled the same. I mean, I think she was going more to, because when she revealed that name change, she was doing a lot of like lottery, like big winning type shit. So I think she meant it to be like a double entendre meaning, right? Like still have homage to her root name, but also that she's a big ticket person type shit. So yeah, I agree though. I just don't understand, and it's like you said, people have nothing better to do. That's just plain and simple.
That's that's exactly what I've been saying. And it's like it's the most frustrating thing that like people choose like the wrong things to be mad at when there's so many other things going on. Like this right here is just like, oh my gosh, it's so stupid because it's like, well, how does it affect your life personally?
I don't know.
Someone is mulatto, dark roast, who the fuck ever. Like, how does that affect your well-being? Because you know what? Chances are you're never gonna meet her. You're not gonna fuck her. You ain't doing nothing. What she does with her name, her entertainment name, does not affect you. Like, and I want to meet someone who's apparently is affected by it. Like, are they having like crippling anxiety or depression because of the fact they see the term mulatto? Are they shaking in a corner because, like, it's stupid. It's fucking stupid.
No, I completely agree, man.
Like, you want to know another thing that just kind of irritated me? This is going on the second tangent. Like, the UK, I was watching a clip from like this UK like news spot, and these guys must be so fucking bored that they're trying to pose the argument. They're trying to say, hey, we should take away the movie Sleeping Beauty because of the fact that she didn't consent to a kiss. A movie that was made before any of us were fucking born. They're trying to have this discussion. She didn't consent to it. A fictional fucking character. Let me see actually real quick.
I listen, like this shit is just like, when is stuff like this gonna stop? I really hate the climate we're in, dude. Like, of course, call out the people who are doing the dumb shit, saying the dumb shit like that, but when it comes to stuff like this, man, like, just shut up. Shut the fuck up. She chose her name because she wanted that name. Honestly, it kind of sounds like a cool name. Mulatto is a nice name. And again, from what I've seen, it's not like she ever came out and said, "Oh yeah, I chose this name because I think white skins are better" or anything like that. Like, I don't understand the logic. I don't. And then, she changed her name. Was it not that much of a change? Sure, but she did it still to appease some people, and you're still not happy. So that just goes to show you can never 100% please people. You should just do you and fuck the rest of them. Like, that's just what it is, right?
Seriously, it's fucking baffling to me. Like I said, we have so much stuff going on in this world currently. Like, internationally, shit ain't looking so good right now. Like,
seriously.
It's fucking baffling that we have so much time on our hands to where we're just like, yeah, like, I'm just kind of concerned the fact her name is Mulatto because, back when my parents were dating, they experienced, man, fuck out of here. Honestly, it's not about you. Like,
yeah,
there's reasons why I don't like social media like that. There's a reason why I haven't really got into Twitter that much or really put any personal opinions, because people feel the need to project so much that it's starting to look like narcissism in a way. Like, because they think that the world revolves around them when they live in this echo chamber of just,
perpetuating the same shit, not wanting to listen to any other fucking point of view except your own. That's just the bottom line.
It's the most frustrating thing, and it's just, I don't know. Like, Mulatto, I don't like your music for shit, but, like, do you? Like, fuck people about.
Yeah, I have to honestly say, like, I wanted to say this just because I'll be a real nigga and say it. Female rappers, I don't particularly listen to music because it's not for niggas. Bottom line, they're making music for women, which do you? I follow a couple of them on Instagram just because they look good, beautiful. Bottom line for me, So
I don't. There's only a handful I'll listen to. For me personally.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't listen to female artists. There's a lot I actually like. I like her. SZA's a really good one.
They're definitely good because like they have their own niche. Like their songs are like, it's kind of sound corny, but their songs are like poetry. And less like actual rap. Like SZA, Ari Lennox. They both have this sort of vibe that you can listen to while you're taking a bath. Like, you can have candlelights and shit like that. Like, they actually have good music. And I said it multiple times, like, the reason why I don't like Megan Thee Stallion is just because of the fact that, to me, like, her shit isn't that good. It's catchy. Like,
she really
not that creative. Like, I honestly prefer Doja Cat over Megan Thee Stallion.
She makes a lot of she makes a lot of TikTok songs and shit, which you do sacrifice quality in doing that. And I mean, Megan, I know I've listened to some of her songs, and some of the songs I did listen to, she's good. She's a good rapper. She really knows how to rap. But it's again me saying that female rappers don't really make songs for niggas. That's not a slight towards them. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. Get your money. You know what I'm saying? Get it. But they don't make songs for niggas. They make songs for chicks, shaking ass, all that type of shit. So, yeah, go ahead and do that shit. Get your money and all that stuff. Do women empowerment, all that. That's what's up. But, yeah, there's definitely a list of female artists that I just listen to. I have, like, a huge-ass Pandora playlist of just mixed songs. Just, like, all of them.
Real quick, would you quantify Megan Thee Stallion's, like, women empowerment?
In the sense that, like, the whole hot girl shit, I guess.
I hate hot girl songs.
I don't know. I would think some women would probably classify that as, like, more so, like, women empowerment, I guess. I don't really know. I don't really know how I'd fall on that spectrum. I think it could be, I guess, in some light, right? For certain people.
I mean, I don't know. Hot girl summer, just to me, like,
it's subjective. It's subjective.
I mean, I guess, but like, you have this thing where you're putting the concept of hot girl summer, where your main objective is like going to All-Star Weekend, like fucking on people and stuff like that, and I don't know. It's just like, it's just stupid.
I want to agree with you, but I don't want to tell chicks how they should live their lives. That's the type of shit. I'm not saying you are.
That like this opinion right here is meaning that they can't live their life. I'm just saying, like, I don't like the idea of hot girl summer, just because of the fact that it's just it kind of like okay, I guess for me it's problematic in the sense that when I look at a relationship, I feel like hot girl summer is not for that. Like,
yeah.
People who want to be like, oh, I'm hot girl summer in a relationship. That's not gonna work. That doesn't.
No. I agree with that for sure.
And it's that whole thing that kind of, and it's kind of red pill logic. Like I try not to dive too deep into it, just because of the fact that, like, I don't agree with everything that, like, someone who has like red pill logic would put out there, but I don't know, I just don't like it. It's just fucking weird. It's fucking weird to me. It's the same thing with, like, guys who are, like, saying, like, oh, I'm gonna, fuck on this chick. I don't know. That's just, you have a whole day pretty much dedicated to fucking on someone, fucking on random people. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's whack on both sides for sure. Like, there's a larger, conversation to be had about that. I don't know what the answer is to. Like I said, I think some women, like, because women for a long time haven't been able to do the things they want to do. They've always been, not able to oppressed and not able to express themselves the way they want to. And it's like, do whatever you do. That's on you. And if you're making money and you're happy and you're putting on for your peoples, that's what's up. I'm not here to judge you how you do that. I mean, it's just some fucked up shit that, it can happen within that. Well, of course there are. There's some really bad apples in there, but that's a larger conversation. I don't really want to get into that personally.
I mean, I'm just saying that, like, I just don't like it. I feel like it involves a lot of problematic stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just,
it's crazy.
That's the one thing I just don't like about Megan Thee Stallion, because I guess, you know what, I haven't talked about this. I was gonna talk about this last week, but one YouTuber who's been popular for quite a while now, he's kind of like had a come up after like a viral video, and this guy's name's Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels is a image consultant. Before he started doing this thing on YouTube where he like talks to like both men and women, I want to make that very clear, because he's getting a lot of hate, right? And before, he was like known for like putting out like like the best kind of cologne to get for men, and like, you know, things to do to like make you healthy and stuff, which has been very helpful because there's a lot of things that I myself did not know until I actually tried it. And I'm not gonna lie, like I've taken a lot of his advice health wise, and I have been feeling a lot healthier in the past 2 months. So shout out for that. But Kevin Samuels recently is starting to get to this point where he is questioning the mentality of people who feel like they deserve better but don't actually qualify for that sort of lifestyle. And the reason why I say, hey, I don't agree with Hot Girl Summer is because of the fact that realistically, like what ends up happening, it involves some women who feel like they have this sort of entitlement to a certain thing, but you know, don't really offer anything in that sort of relationship, and they feel like they can have it all.
Right.
Like, that's the one thing I agree with Kevin Samuels is that, like, you know, and this goes, like I said, goes for men and women, because I hear dudes, and it's fucking weird that they say this, feel like they deserve a chick who has like a fat ass or like a good body, but are broke as fuck.
Yeah, fat,
it's
not doing shit. Yeah, and I second, wholeheartedly agree. And honestly, as kind of pushy as Kevin did be, like when he's talking to people, I honestly think people need to hear that, like, because they need to get this kind of wake up call. Like, listen, like, what you're asking for, you're saying, like, just listening to him ask these, you know, and I'll say people, just what they're looking for. And you hear them say, oh, well, my man needs to make 6 figures, and, you know, I'm going to have this amount of kids, and I don't really want to work. It's like, okay, you don't particularly look that good. And you feel like,
the fact that, like, they don't look that good.
It's also their temperament too. I was gonna get to that. The looks, the temperament, and what you're providing is not going to qualify you to get the high value person you're looking for. So it's just like, and for some reason they just feel like, well, you know, take me as I am because you won't find anyone else. Like, no, there's a lot of competition out here. You know, like, these people have options. You're not the only one, unfortunately. So, you know, you should really think about that. You know, I do think people need a wake-up call in that sense. Is like, you need to understand that what you're asking for, it's fine to have standards. No one's telling you need to have your standards in the fucking gutter. Of course not, right? But you should have reasonable ones, like anyone else, right? That's all there is to it.
I mean, that's basically just what I'm saying. Like, I just don't like Hot Girl Summer because of the fact that it just, I feel like it kind of creates this idea that, like, hey, you can do this thing with no accountability at all. Because I'm not gonna lie.
We've had
my personal experience, I have found myself questioning how some people lack accountability, and I've seen the patterns, and it's almost gotten to the point to where it starts to create resentment. And like, I don't like dealing with it. I really don't, because the fact that it's just like some people have these things about them that they just feel like they can do without any repercussions at all. So I don't know. That point was kind of getting to a tangent, but
yeah.
Did you do your shit?
Yeah. First and foremost, do your shit. Do you? Did you finish Army of the Dead? Because I don't want to spoil anything if you didn't finish it.
I mean, I don't really care. I didn't get a chance to, because
dude, I swear, my internet company, I'm gonna fuck these guys over.
Yeah, because, you know, it's just funny. Let's just go off on this tangent. I was sitting here talking about One Piece, asking questions, and it was just fucking crickets, my nigga. I was like,
No, I was talking, and all of a sudden, I just kept hearing you saying, hey, man, I can't hear you, and I'm looking at my connection, looking at my router, and this shit is just blinking like crazy, and check my phone. Oh, yeah, we're having an outage in your area. Like, they've been having an outage for 2 months in a row now. What the fuck are they fixing? Like,
yeah, that shit is trash, man.
They were basically talking about, like, the mulatto situation, and then somehow it got in Hot Girl Summer and stuff like that. But,
yeah. Yeah, we
That's still
kind of.
going on.
No, we finished. Oh, you mean the hot girl summer thing? Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I'm pretty
I
sure.
mean,
it's
that
still
trend's
going.
always gonna
Yeah,
happen.
it's gonna happen. I mean, it's not only just that. You mean you have other, female rappers who kind of like. You remember like the situation with Sweetie a while back, where like, what did she say? Like something if he can't buy a Birkin or something like that, and like, it's stuff like that.
She had this thing that she said on this podcast where she was like, "Yeah, if he can't buy a Birkin, then he can't have my heart. Or if he wants to get my good graces, he needs to buy me a couple houses because I run a
know
business."
this is gonna sound ridiculous. What the hell is a Birkin?
It's a bag.
Birkin is
Expensive ass bag.
type of bag. I think it's a brand, right? I think it's
Yeah. I believe
it's
it's
a very
brand.
expensive brand, like
Yeah.
Gucci or Hermes or something like that. Which that's been like the trend. That's been like the trend. Where,
basically, she wants something that she's gonna put shit in like twice, then say, this is out of style, and I'm just gonna move on to something else.
I mean, that's the logic here. Unfortunately, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it is what it is. You just know you find a chick like that, you just ignore her. Honestly, it's not worth your time. But Izzy, I'm glad you're back because I was gonna get into the whole Army of the Dead talk. Domdo said he didn't watch it yet, but he said he doesn't care about spoilers. So I actually wanted to let you know.
It's good thing that we're about to talk about it because now he's gonna notice shit that we brushed over while we were watching it anyway. So go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to let you know actually. Pretty much, Zack Snyder said that when he was doing the costume designer was doing the skeleton scene, when they were in that vault. And they had those skeletons on the ground. They were having that talk of whether they were in a time loop or not. Pretty much, Zack Snyder said it was like soft confirmed that they are because he said like when they were doing that, like she was like, yeah, okay, I'll just put random skeletons on the ground. He's like, no, those skeletons are them. And she's like, wait, what? And he was like, yeah, the skeletons are going to represent them.
Those skeletons are them because did you notice like Dave Bautista bandana was on the first skeleton? The cross and the key that was on that lady's neck that got her neck twisted backwards.
Yeah.
It was on the second skeleton, and
I didn't notice that. I'm gonna have to rewatch it because I did not notice that. What?
Because I had to go back a little bit and pause and look at all that shit, and I'm like, oh man, these are these motherfuckers.
Oh my god, that's insane.
Also, in the vault on the shelf, like that one I had to see on YouTube, but like the Snyder cut for the Justice League, the entire Justice League Snyder cut was in the vault.
Really? That's funny. That's hilarious.
It was just on the shelf in the vault.
Yeah, I think that's such a cool concept because with the sequels now, you can kind of explore that. Maybe in the beginning of the next movie, they're doing this shit again, and then just like, wait a fucking minute, there's more that. Yeah, it's like what?
New Mexico or some shit.
Yeah, they're just like, what's going on here?
At the end, what's his face left? I keep forgetting that guy's name. The black dude.
Yeah. He didn't even know he was bit though. So he was flying off, and now he's gonna be the new alpha zombie. He's fucking Mexico now.
And from some of the theories I was saying online, it's like since they dropped the nuke on Las Vegas when he was there, apparently the zombie outbreak kind of mutated. So it made him into a different kind of zombie than Zeus was.
Shit.
And also at the beginning of the movie, you remember how those guys were talking about aliens and shit? If you paused at the beginning of the movie, you saw two flying saucers when the convoy started moving. So it's not just like, even though it kind of looked like just something that seemed like the government was just experimenting or something. It seems like what the entire concept of what the zombie outbreak happens with is like they were experimenting with alien technology.
Oh, okay. So they took some random dude, experimented on him, and he became what he was, the alpha zombie guy. Okay.
Right, and also if you look at it, those zombies, like, you remember some
of them? Yeah, they look strange. Some of them.
Yeah, some of them would have like blue bloods and stuff when they get popped instead of just red blood, and their eyes were glowing too.
Yeah. And then I was wondering too, because I was just like, how the fuck do these guys procreate? Like, like he had his little queen there, and then they're about to have their kid. Well, not about to. She was pregnant with the kid, right? But
the fetus was actually growing.
Yeah, it was glowing and shit. I was like, oh, okay, this is strange. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that movie, just for the factor of just this. A fun movie. Yeah, just like all the things are encompassing. It's like, damn, like where are we going next with this? And I heard they're also doing a animated series for this, basically like setting up everyone's character, like how they knew each other and what they were doing and how they were saving people and stuff. So that'll be cool. Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next with that for sure. I guess we could just go straight into movies then. Stuff that I watched. I watched Elizabeth Harvest. That was a pretty funny one. You had clones upon clones, like you were saying. I actually rewatched the original Zombieland. That movie still holds up pretty good. I watched Army of the Dead, of course. And then for some reason, I guess I was just on some zombie shit because I saw it was free on Prime. I watched the original Resident Evil, which, again, we've talked about this. The original one, fine, right? For what it was, not a bad movie. It's when you get to Resident Evil Apocalypse, and even this I didn't realize, like, Mila Jovovich right here, even she, from that point onward, she was disappointed with those films because Hollywood just wanted more explosions and less story. So she was from Apocalypse onward, she just didn't care at that point. I guess she was just doing it for the check. They were paying her big for the check. So yeah, so, but she was disappointed in the story.
It was pretty much like a joint venture with her husband anyway, so.
Right. Yeah, it's just like terrible movies. The first one, serviceable, not bad, but those ones preceding it, awful. And then I also watched Rebirth. That was a weird movie. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it just left you with more questions than answers with that one. It's just like, they never really answered what Rebirth was, and it's just kind of weird, but, I mean, we passed about
the way to refresh your life, man. You gotta see it how it is, so it's a chance to recreate your life to what you want your life to be.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Or you lose your mind in the process. It could gotta go either way.
Right. And speaking of movies, because we have a little bit of MCU stuff, so apparently for Doctor Strange 2, rumors are that the main villain is not going to be Nightmare Mephisto like everyone was thinking it's going to be. It's actually going to be Shuma Gorath. I don't know much about that character. I just heard stuff from like Rob and comments explaining stuff like that. Apparently, this character is like one of the Eldritch gods or some shit in the MCU. So, extremely powerful being. I guess he's part of the reason that Scarlet Witch is going to be going, into trying to save her kids because he's probably playing her, right? And
right.
That should be interesting. Just to see, just going in the multiverse stuff, which really this shit is going to start with Loki because he fucked up the timeline by taking that Tesseract. Now you have all these other variant Lokis going around doing all this stupid shit and all these other alternate realities. So I can't wait to see alternate versions of characters, man. Like shit, it's gonna be sick. Eventually.
I saw a clip where he held his very iconic sword that's in his own mythology, which is pretty cool. It's like a flaming sword. It's like Leviathan or something like that. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, he's supposed to use that.
Oh shit! Okay.
I think they're also supposed to explore his where he keeps like his pocket dimension because since everything he just pulls out at random, it's actually from a pocket dimension where he holds the Tesseract and his daggers and stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, because that makes sense. Because I remember initially when I had questioned that during Infinity War when Thanos was like, "Hey, give me the fucking space stone," and he's just like, "Okay," and then he just whips it out of nowhere. I was like, "Where the fuck did that come from?" It's just like that makes sense.
He's always done that. I think honestly, I remember more vividly in Ragnarok when Hela first showed up. He just like whipped that shit out. Even before that, when Doctor Strange pulled him out of the dimension, he like whipped the shit out.
Right. Yeah.
So,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's pretty cool. I also cannot wait for Loki. Like, gosh, this like I said it last week, but TV shows fucking suck. Like,
Yeah.
everything like on Netflix has been like keeping me interested. There's a show that I have talked shit about a lot, and it was BoJack Horseman. I didn't like at first. I didn't like the show because well, for two reasons. For one, I never really understood the concept of it. It just to me it just looked like a depressing show. And then two, the fans fucking ruined it because of the fact that I can't stand when people take things so literally that they try to base their whole lifestyle around a fictional character. It annoys the hell out of me, especially with BoJack because it centers itself around like mental illness, abuse and stuff like that, and you know, seeing stuff online where people are like, "Oh, I feel like this drowning horse right here." Like, shut the fuck up, please. Like,
That's that same
BoJack.
shit with Rick and Morty too.
Yeah, no, like Rick and Morty was ruined for me just because of the fact that I see people jumping up on a fucking McDonald's countertop,
Trying to get this
looking
shot.
like
Szechuan sauce.
yeah, no,
Oh my
seriously,
God.
stopping on a countertop just to get a fucking sauce that ain't even that good.
Stupid.
Take your ass to Chick-fil-A and get the fucking sauce from there and fuck off.
You get your Polynesian sauce from there.
Yes.
I swear, man.
The most annoying thing ever. But I took a chance and I was like, okay, let me watch BoJack. And at first, I made the mistake and I watched it because I thought it was like The Simpsons, so I was watching sporadically. But no, there is a very tight and connected storyline that involves a lot of complex characters. Like BoJack, he's very complex for many different reasons. But one of the top things is the fact that his family fucking sucks due to generational trauma because his mom treated him like shit because of the fact that her dad treated her like shit. And the one of the I think there are like two instances that was just like really fucked up. His mom growing up lost her older brother to the war because he was a fucking dummy, and he accidentally got his commander killed in World War II, and then that bullet that killed him shot him in the head.
Damn.
And it was just yeah, and so like his BoJack's mom's mother, what was it? Dang, I almost forgot. I forgot her name, but she went insane. She literally went insane, and her dad was just like, yeah, looks like I got to go to the officer here. I'm not equipped to handle emotions, and I won't learn. So see you guys, and just left. And so Beatrice's mom basically just went on like a little crazy adventure, kissing Cracker Jack or her brother's best friend. And this is the mom, mind you, the grandmother. And then because of the fact that the grandfather found out, he lobotomized Beatrice, BoJack's mom, so she was basically like a whole new person. Didn't remember her at all, but was just like a husk of her former self.
Yeah.
So it's a really fucked up thing. I really like the way the characters are being told. Like BoJack, I said, he's like a really complex character. The second fucked up thing is just the fact that in season 6 he goes to rehab and comes out basically like a new man because he went on a bender with this one chick who was like the voice of Louise in Bob's Burgers, and she overdosed because of him. So he went to rehab, and then came out a new man, changed his life, started teaching and stuff where his sister was going to school at, and then all of a sudden the shit just hits the fan because out of nowhere people are like, "Hey, like you were there where Sarah Lynn died, right? Like what happened?" And then all of a sudden, he did that interview only to do a second one, which I feel like he really should have did it because all of a sudden they brought up the instance that happened with his coworker's daughter because she was like 17. She was 17 and he almost like fucked her, but his mom caught him. and that got brought up, and it just completely ruined his life. Like, yeah, I feel like if you haven't seen it, like people should watch it just because of the fact that it's not like Family Guy, it's not like any of these other shows where there's
Just
no like
comedy and no substance and
yeah, like there's
no
no
weight behind it.
consequences.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm choking, but yeah.
Get some
This-
water, man.
I got some water. It was just weird, but yeah. You guys, how, like in Family Guy, like shit will happen, and then just like the next day, everything will be fine. Like Peter,
Right.
honestly, will kill himself, and he will be just fine.
Yep,
But-
pretty much. There's no continuity. There's just
That's when
no
he started.
continuity.
He's just good. Yep.
Yeah, but BoJack, that stuff has like some shit like I didn't even like. I was like holy shit. Like another moment that really made me like get out of my seat was that during that time when he was about to have sex with that 17-year-old girl, he got alcohol for her and her friends. She didn't want to drink, but there's this guy named Pete who basically was dating the girl, one of Penny's friends, and she like had blood alcohol poisoning. So he literally abandoned them at the hospital, and then like a couple years later, when BoJack's sister went to a New York party, he ran into her and was like, "Yeah, I don't drink. I had panic attacks before, and the reason why this happened is because there's this guy who's a celebrity, and he like went to prom with us and got my girlfriend at the time like alcohol poisoning, and she was like, oh, what's his name? He's like, oh, it's BoJack. Yeah, recipe for disaster right there.
That's crazy. I'll have to check that show out. Sounds interesting. I like shows that kind of have a more substance. That's kind of why I liked. Initially, I was kind of resistant to like say Rick and Morty, because on the surface you might think that it's just them doing a whole bunch of wacky ass shit, but there's more. There's a lot more to it than that. Like just the family dynamic, and then the kind of undertones, and Rick like being a piece of shit. It's just there's a lot going on there. So that's initially what made me fall in love with this show. I'll definitely have to check BoJack out for sure.
BoJack is kind of on a different level than Rick and Morty, because like they do have moments where they're like, oh, this is like really deep, but like it's not on the same level as BoJack. I feel like BoJack is, if you watch it, you'll see a lot of like deep stuff that I feel like everyone can relate to. But there's still comedy to it. There's still a lot of funny moments.
For sure.
So, let's see, Izzy. Boy, Izzy. This Flash, man. I saw this. Real quick, actually, there's another show that I watched. I was really disappointed, but I wanted to go into this Flash thing because me and Izzy again have both been watching Flash for some fucking reason, because we've been just torturing ourselves. We keep torturing ourselves so much. Like even Emergency Awesome came out and said, hey, this show is shit now. I haven't been covering it because a lot of stuff just doesn't make a lick of sense. And boy, I don't know what it is with people of color, but man, they completely just do them fucking dirty. This guy who's playing Bart Allen, Jordan Fisher, recently just did a debut promo picture of his character, Imhole. And this man looks fucking goofy as hell. Like, I don't know what it is with, like, Photoshop. Yeah, no, I don't know what it is with, like, their Photoshop skills, but they made this man look fucking stupid. Like, they gave him this yee-ass little smile right here, got some stubby-ass arms. He looks like... This promo doesn't do it any justice, because when you see the actual costume, it looks really good. It looks just fine. It almost looks better than
Grant Gustin's.
Yeah, than Grant Gustin's costume, just because of the fact that it's probably like the most comic accurate looking outfit. But it's so fucking stupid how they have this man looking. Like, I can't even tell where his shoulders begin and end in like one side of the picture. Fucking stubby ass legs. Like
You
a
see,
damn dog.
that's one of those things now when you have a pose, when superheroes do poses in comics, it looks pretty cool, but sometimes it just doesn't translate well in real life, man.
No,
Just
but see,
don't
the
do
thing is, though, it's like it could make sense. I literally, okay, so I have for whenever I do like character references or character designs, I have like a modeler, like a little character. It's kind of like a toy, but basically you can change different poses and stuff like that. I did it myself, and I took a picture. It looks perfectly fine. You can do that, but they literally just did not give a fuck about how Jordan looked. And so they have him looking stupid as hell. Like I said, with this Nickelodeon looking face right here. Like, why would you think that would be a good idea? To have him smile, showing little bits of bottom of his teeth right here, looking like I said, like a golden retriever, with his tongue sticking out. I swear, there are two issues that I have with CW. It's one, their misuse of black characters, and the fact that they try to like symbolize evil with the color black, because they did this in the recent episode with Nora, and that is, oh my gosh, I swear I would throw
I really
like some glass at a
to
wall.
his shows that actually does that, man. I don't understand why they always freaking do that. Where like if a character is evil, instead of them just portraying it within the character development, they have to just have them put it like in a black getup. It's like, yeah, this person is evil because they're wearing black now.
Fucking sense at all. Like she just all of a sudden became evil, and so like the next episode she just showed up looking like a Sith Lord. For some reason felt the need to do her makeup too, because that's evil.
Now she's wearing some black makeup everywhere, a black suit. Like,
who the fuck cares?
Think about these things.
She's literally the body of someone who's been dead since the year 2000 in the Flash series.
Yeah, I have the picture up with the screen right now. Just so
in my opinion, that's just lazy writing, because instead of actually trying to portray why that person is evil or whatever, you just straight up just down them in a specific color and just like, because let's just associate black with evil and whatnot.
Yeah, it's just, oh my gosh, man, I swear, like, it makes me so frustrated just seeing it. Like, I watched the recent episode because I needed some background noise while I was doing like some homework and stuff, and they're at this point right now where like the different forces are like Barry's children, which is just fucking idiotic. Stupid. It's fucking so stupid, man. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And Barry's trying to train the force, and I think it's supposed to be like the strength force, which that's fucking terrible because of the fact they just have a cheap ass looking albino looking Hulk with long ass hair, or what I like to call Abby Anderson from The Last of Us, and she's trying to fight this, like, train to fight the Speed Force, and Barry's just pushing her, and then my gosh, man, at the end they all get fried except for Barry. Like, she literally is like a Sith Lord. Yeah, no, she literally just electrocuted all of them.
Yep.
And she was she literally just showed up, and she said, "Okay, you are a rival," and just shot him. And electrocuted the fuck out of everyone.
The storyline is just
it's ass, man. It's fucking garbage, bro. Like, they have this whole thing with Joe West right here. He's a fucking captain. Can't even hold his
own precinct down.
Yeah, his own precinct down right here. Came out of buttfuck nowhere, calling the shots. Yeah, talked about, hey, we need to have a leash, a collar on the metahumans right here.
Right. Like, and instead of him actually solving the problem, he just got up and said, "Yeah, I quit." Like,
dude, what? These motherfuckers have been around since 2014, and they're like, "Oh, we need to have a handle on these metahumans." The fuck?
And what's stupid about him quitting is because he's like in the best position to actually help his team by staying in that position, but no, he just like, okay, I'm just gonna quit now and let this crazy person who has no interest in the safety of the people of his city just come over here and just run everything over for him. Like,
yeah. And I just still think, like, the whole plot point right here, like, fuck Cisco, I guess, because of the fact that, he made this metahuman cure, that somehow went public with no FDA regulation or nothing, which it's not like they were actually gonna do that anyways, because Flash doesn't like to explain themselves on a deeper level. And so whenever like a metahuman ends up in prison, like Killer Frost, for example, she has the option to either serve some prison time or get euthanized, essentially. Because, of course, who would have thought a police officer who came from nowhere understands the complex DNA structure of a metahuman and just thinks, hey, if I put this cure in their arm, they won't be a criminal anymore.
Right. Forgetting that Killer Frost's entire freaking being is based on her being a meta. That if you actually take her away her ability, she essentially just dies.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, her crimes that she committed were technically like 3 or 4 years ago.
Right, and none of those crimes, she didn't even kill anybody.
Yo, and then the other thing is, too, the crazy thing is they reset the universe. So why did they keep her crimes?
Remember any of those things?
Bro, this is honestly, it made me more frustrated, man. I swear. If I had some glass right now, I'd be throwing that shit at my wall. I'm so heated.
I thought you were gonna say you're gonna throw it out to your TV. I'm like, the Flash is not gonna help you buy your TV, right?
No, I would never throw out my TV.
This is why as soon as you guys told me the synopsis of that first, I was like, I'm dropping this shit. Like, I've never has been the easiest decision I've ever made. Fuck CW, dude. They are garbage.
I told you
Garbage.
It wasn't be good the second what they did to Hartley Sawyer, because the fact that they literally brought this man back just to show him with a melted ass face and then turned him into Daft Punk. Like, that was literally the most disrespectful thing anyone can do in entertainment. It's next to what WB did to Henry Cavill. Like,
I mean, we're already
CW.
We're like already in that kind of situation where they could just drop an actor like that anyway. So I mean,
but then but the thing is, what makes it ironic is the fact that they have this whole thing where it's just like you have a supervillain who could just murder people. He can like be a child murderer, and as long as you get Iris West's approval, she's like, I forgive him. And then Barry's like, yeah, this doesn't define you. Oh, but okay. Hartley Sawyer is like, fuck you. This isn't the Flash. Even though you work here, you're not gonna be forgiven.
Right. Because that's also the underlying tone that I don't even freaking get of what's going on right now. Because the entirety of this new season, it's all about them talking a villain down instead of actually fighting the villain. And always
talk no jutsu.
Oh my God.
Talk no jutsu.
But it's worse though.
How can they follow their own message in real life though? Is what I don't understand.
know, but the thing is, it's worse than talk no jutsu because any logical person would not believe a fucking word Barry Allen has to say.
No,
it doesn't make any sense. Why, if I was a career criminal, why would I listen to you and your wife? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know you. I'm gonna go killing again. That's what I'm gonna do.
They just found the need to constantly keep trying to talk a villain down from committing a crime, even though this villain has already killed like 5 to 10 people in the current storyline, the current season. They already killed, like, just in one episode that it showed up, they already killed about 5 or 10 people already. But somehow, instead of them actually like going hard on this villain, kicking his ass and locking them away, they find the need to try to talk this person down.
And it's just like, I bet you, I swear, like, they're gonna do the same thing with Nora, the Speed Force right here, where they're gonna talk her down, because right now she went from saying my beautiful boy to my stupid boy, you stupid boy. Like, Grant's gonna talk her down, and she's just gonna be like, oh, I'm so sorry, oh, my beautiful boy, and then just go off into existence. She's gonna just utterly just disappear.
Probably go into the Speed Force and just live there.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Our entire life over there, like the Mirror Master from last episode.
Oh my God, that was so dog shit.
War crime.
Oh my God.
I didn't mean to do this.
Dude, that shit was so fucking stupid. You really had Iris like, this isn't what you want, is it? Look around. And she was like, you're right. I don't want this. I was like, oh my god!
It honestly made
Oh
season
my
3.
god!
It made season 3 and season 4 way like so much better.
No,
To me,
literally
like the
after
past,
4, it's been
season
shit.
3 through 5, like I did not like those series at all, or those seasons at all. But boy, season 6, that finale was ass. That shit was ass.
Yeah, man.
Oh, hey,
It's just CW they just need to lose all their hero licenses and just go make your fucking Powerpuff Girl bullshit. Do whatever you want with that. Just leave the heroes to like actual people who have creative juices and the actual capital to put behind like all the set design and the CGI and effects and shit because
it's surprising that none of their CG has improved at all, man.
Fuck no, they're cheap as fuck. And it's like we were saying too. Like you guys say Superman and Lois's CGI and everything is good for right now, but how long is it gonna be before they just let us like, yeah, we got the fan base ready, just go ahead and just tone it down a little bit. Like I have no faith in CW, dude. They are such a shit network.
They really are
Garbage. Shit is trash.
Like they really just, if they're gonna be doing stuff like that, they just need to cut down the episodes down to about 10 episodes
for some reason
season and improve the budget instead of them going on this long filler episodes of not even having anything to do with the current season.
For some reason,
do Law and Order shit. Go ahead and fucking do Law and Order's shows, not bring that shit to like the superhero genre and not follow through with a damn story that you're telling. Have a coherent story, you stupid fools.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's just fucking stupid. It's just stupid. It's just like, bro, why do you feel the need to do Villain of the Week episodes and pad this shit up? Nigga, just do 16 episodes and call it a day for every season. Or even less than that. Yeah, I was gonna say less than that.
Because I think that, like, even shows like you. I mean, we watched that show Jupiter's Legacy.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the best show, but like, you saw the budget, right?
The budget, I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of hit or miss with it, but like, at least the freaking CG was somewhat.
It was better. I honestly don't remember any CG, like real CG in The Flash recently because they hardly fight. I don't think I see Grant in his costume at all. And yeah, which, like I said, that's what makes it really ass that you have Villain of the Week. Which is the reason why I'll always recommend Superman and Lois to you guys, because it's not like that at all. There is a storyline that's going on.
A coherent story going on, and we're following along and trying to see where that leads to, and which is what I like. And even though there's like side story to that, the side story goes hand in hand with the actual main story that's going on, you know?
Yeah. So it's nothing compared.
It's not all over the place like the Flash. Like just that little story that they with the one that they had to go and go to Metropolis to play that football game against the Metropolis team. It still had a consideration to it, because while Lois was over here doing her investigation stuff, which is another thing I kind of like about this show, even though it's a Superman show where Superman is in there, like Lois has like equal amount of time in the show.
Yeah,
as a main character.
That's what I like too.
She's not a side character. She's an actual main character who actually does have an equal part to play in like the main centralized story that's going on, you know? Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy that too, because before, like, any other show or movie...
Take Flash, for example.
Oh,
Iris, like, her story died, like, freaking season 2.
Her story died when fucking Eddie Thawne died.
Right. But they just keep finding a reason just to keep her around, so they keep giving her all kinds of crappy roles that has nothing to do with what she should be doing anyway. But hey, I digress.
That's actually another show too, because I haven't watched Superman and Lois, and like I'm so glad that show is back, because at this point I don't want any crossover. I don't
Nope.
want to see Grant's face.
I don't want to see
Unfortunately, I don't
Supergirl
want to
face like
see.
that.
I don't
Like
want to see
they just
Melissa.
need, they just need to stay the hell away from that shit and just stay in our own bubble.
Yeah, because Superman and Lois is doing literally just fine,
Yep.
and I don't give a shit if they don't converse or if they don't do a crossover because it's on its own league right here. They had one moment where I was just like, yeah, you didn't really need to say that. Like, there's one point where like Lois is, she doesn't know that she's talking to Lex Luthor of a different universe, but
Right.
he's like, yeah, we need to sneak in here. And he's like, well, why can't you do it? He's like, well, as a black man, I'm gonna be suspicious. I was like, come on, man.
That just happened. That just
Yeah,
happened.
like it didn't. It wasn't a necessary line. You could literally just
nothing to it.
no, it didn't. You could have just been like, well, they don't know me, so yeah, I don't want to look suspicious. You didn't have to say a lone black man. Like, bruh, you just put out stereotypes for no fucking reason. Like,
That's a CW.
it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah, no, it didn't make any sense.
It
But
had
the rest of this,
no
the rest of that show, that
Oh, yeah.
episode was like just fine because, you know, Jordan got fucked up. I don't know what happened, but like, at some point, like he just can't control his powers. And one time, like or in this football game that he was in, he was
It's because he's way too emotional.
yeah, he was emotional and like he was getting stomped on in a football game, and then like his dad came in and he was about to do like an ocular blast, and Clark was just like, yeah, just go ahead and shoot at my hand because no one can see. And you know, I love those aspects about a superhero family because like this version of Superman is just such a pleasant to see because I love this rebirth style that they got going on. Like,
Right.
it's not just Superman
So
going like, I can't, like he doesn't have all the answers right away, but you know, he doesn't need to be like, baby, I don't know what to do. Motherfuckers are too fast for me. Like,
Right.
I don't
And
need to hear that.
You also see the restraint that he shows when he's like fighting because like it actually
Yeah.
shows like he's really, really freaking powerful, but like he always holds himself back not to destroy people right off the bat.
Yeah,
Because, like-
that scene where the military started to fire
Right.
at him, shot kryptonite at him. Yeah, bad fucking move right there.
Bad
Like,
move, dude. Because he was genuinely pissed off when they shot those kryptonite bullets in him and it just stuck in there and he even though like kryptonite is his weakness, it just shows you like kryptonite really cannot keep him down
Yeah, like
if he's really pissed off.
not for long. Like being
No.
like this at this point, like this version of Superman right here, he's not affected by kryptonite.
No, not
Just, like, he gets hit with that shit and he's just like, oh, you son of a
yeah, he could just
bitch.
fucking pull that shit out as long as it's not embedded in his body.
Yeah.
He just go on and start wrecking shit. But he holds himself back every time just not to be
Yeah.
like the monster that people would associate his power to be, you know?
And he makes that obvious too, and he says it and he explains it to Jordan. He's like, look, you know, there's some times I actually just wanna cut loose, but you know, when
Yeah.
I first got here 20 years ago when I first started as Superman, I had to prove to people that I'm not gonna destroy them and ruin their entire livelihood. And yeah, you have to do the same thing too now because you have powers. And I think Jonathan also is starting to develop powers because the way he
I
caught
think
his
so.
brother.
Yeah, because like you saw the shockwave, right? There's
Yeah.
no way a person like if that was a normal person who grabbed a punch like that, that hand would have just been blown off completely. But
Yeah.
the shockwave actually showed that he actually is developing his kind of superpowers too, but it's just not as apparent not as apparent as his brother's powers, is it?
Yeah, I really hope that Jordan ends up turning to Superboy Prime.
Yeah.
Boy, they have never done that before.
That would be good still.
It would be insane. I mean,
Yeah.
they can't do the whole multiversal thing, but they can really just showcase like what Superboy Prime could do.
But yeah, and you know what's gonna be cool though? If he actually did turn into Superboy Prime, then they could like reveal that he reveal like later on that he was actually the Superman from Alexander's universe. Instead of it actually being Superman himself. That
Oh,
would be
you're talking about since Jordan was never really there. It was
Right.
just Jonathan. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be kind of crazy.
So it would be cool that he's actually like the Superman or the Superman from Alexander's universe actually destroyed everything. It wasn't really Clark or his
Well,
brother.
how would they do that though? Because Jordan isn't that age.
I mean, I mean, they still have the little freaking time travel shit going on around. I don't know. They could explain that shit from a multiversal perspective. Who knows? I don't know. It's huge.
I don't know how they exactly do that. I mean, I just don't want them to be too convoluted in the plot because obviously that's been
Sure.
working out for CW shows very well,
Like,
anyways. So
complicated.
yeah, yeah. One last show that I was watching, I watched last night, and it was one of my favorite shows. It's called Masters of None. It's basically the story by Aziri Inari, or Aziz. Let me not butcher his name. Hang on, real quick. Aziz Ansari. Yeah, it's basically about his character, Dev. Basically, like being a actor, you know, struggling with what he wants and stuff like that. Like he's trying to like pretty much just find his identity, and you know he's like 35, so you know that's just kind of running out, and you know deals with relationship stuff. Season two ended basically on a cliffhanger because in the previous season there was this chick that he was like madly in love with. She ended up leaving to a different state because of her career, so he was pretty much just lost. And then he moved to Italy, met this one girl named Francesca, who you know was already on the verge of getting married. She came over there to New York, and you know, guess what happens? You know, they end up in bed together, but it ends on a cliffhanger. So that was like 2 years ago, I think. I don't actually remember when Masters of None came out, the second season. But yeah, so the
What
newest
is
season
that?
came
What is
out.
that on? Netflix,
It's on
Hulu?
Netflix.
Okay.
I'm trying to find it. Trying to find out when the second season came out. Oh, okay, never mind. It came out in 2017. Damn. And I don't know. I don't know what happened because you know I was really invested into Dev's storyline because like everyone wanted to see what happened with Francesca, and they just completely ignored it. They decided to focus on like two characters, and it was really just centered on you know this queer relationship between a character, Alicia and Denise, and who Denise was like Dev's friend throughout the series, and I don't know, like they really seem to make it unintentional. Like they didn't make it funny at all. Like it wasn't really like something where you could watch and be like, oh yeah, man, that was like I actually like that. Like they had some pretty good jokes. It just showed like the very mundane lifestyle of like two like lesbian women in a relationship, and Dev was there, but he was with another girl, and like I said, completely brushed over the whole Dev and Francesca storyline, and pretty much just said, "Okay, this is what happened. Dev and Francesca broke up. Somehow his acting career like faltered too, so he doesn't act anymore. He ended up in this relationship with this other girl. He lost his house, and now both of them live at his parents' house, and you know the relationship is absolutely toxic. It's a fucking disappointment, man. I don't like the show. Like last night when I couldn't sleep, and I was watching it, when Dev showed up, he showed up with this new girl. I was like, oh fuck. I was like, why did you do that? Everyone wanted to know what happened, but you know what? You know, I guess
Has it been canceled or what? It's
no, it
not.
hasn't been canceled. I mean, it came out today,
Okay.
the third season, but it's just not good. It's just not good at all. Like I'm sorry, like there are shows. I watch certain shows because of the fact that I can relate to it, and it has nothing to do with the fact that like you know the characters have changed or the focus changed to two different characters. It's just that I already had an investment put out there, and now it's just kind of like it's just gone to shit. Like it's fucking gone, and we're never gonna see that plot point come back again. So
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I really hate story points like that too, where like you would think like this story point or a plot line would go somewhere, and eventually they just scrap it and say, "Well, let's move on to this other plot point that nobody gives a shit about and least interesting shit in there." That's happened to me with a whole bunch of shows. But since I have invested my time in it, I can't really just quit it in the middle of it, you know. I want to see it through, and it's pretty much what we fell into with the Flash right now too.
Yeah, except I really have to drop this because, like I said, I just have no interest in these characters at all. Like
you're not just gonna power through it just to see.
No, just because of the fact that like there's no explanation. Like there are certain shows. Okay, I'll use BoJack for example. There is a point in like BoJack where they won't tell you like full detail. Like there's one part in the story where BoJack in season 6 literally drowns himself almost to death, and when he comes back and he's sent to prison, he runs into this chick named Diane that both of them like know each other very well, and I found out, or the audience finds out, that before he drowned himself, he sent her a message,
like a
saying that
message or something.
Yeah, like a message saying he's going swimming, and he's like, hey, if you don't want me to go swimming, then come and save me, because obviously no one cares about me. Like there was like there was stuff like that was like put out there that we didn't find out until later. But like that stuff is okay, but the stuff with like Masters of None, where like pretty much years go by, it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
Yes, that's true.
So I don't know. That's basically it. That's basically what I've been watching. Not a whole lot. I mean, I do. I'm glad that we are doing like this weekly podcasting thing, just because of the fact that we. I don't know. Like me and Izzy were talking about it at one point, because we're like, yeah, like when we were doing 2 weeks, we're kind of like halting ourselves from with consistency, like preventing ourselves from being consistent, because we would cover news stuff, and it would be like weeks old or something like that, and it just keeps us consistent in a way, and also lets us have these.
Also, the discussion is fresh, instead of it being like something that we would have in mind to discuss, and eventually we just forget what we're trying to say and whatnot,
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I hope we can do more stuff, like more tangents and stuff like that, because, I think at one point you guys said that you wanted to just like do like a Skype call instead of like going to like PlayStation parties, so we could just record like videos, right?
Because I mean, it's therapeutical, man. So yeah.
Yeah. So, kind of changing it up. Yeah, we're gonna change it up some more. So yeah.
You can leave some comments and let us know if you guys like the direction that we're going in.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, I don't have anything else, honestly.
No, me neither. I mean, we're not gonna talk about our stock right now.
Oh my god.
So that's just.
Oh Jesus Christ. That was ridiculous. Not going to that. But people who went into the little DI thing, the little high def whatever, got scammed out of $32 million and got a little fuck you message saying, hey, we scammed you out of your money, you can't do shit about it. Boy. I don't know how I would be feeling right now. Probably dive out of a window like Kanye says.
Beat up a random person in the street. And that's that random person knows Kung Fu that well pick the wrong random person. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm ready to end it if you guys are.
Yeah.
Good.
Well,
it was set off east.
Yeah, you already know what it is. Kind of Being Podcast episode 15 and 16. I thought that was 16. Comment, like, subscribe, all that shit. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. Now that we're going weekly, I'm excited, looking forward to it, and all that shit. So
We
have a
should
good one.
title this episode, Look how they massacred our boy.
Look how they massacred our boy.
Oh my gosh, sorry Jordan Fisher, but they did you dirty.
They really did, man.
I put it on screen too, so you can actually see what this nigga looks like. They fucking CW, man. But alright, you guys take it easy out there, man. Peace.
Peace.